Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be reviewing the Gnu something Gnu. That's right, they put Gnu into the name twice on this board. This board features Gnu's C2 directional camber profile, so what you get is a little more camber and a slight rocker in the nose in the front, reverse between the feet, then camber underfoot, slightly set back. So what that's actually gonna do is allow you to really load this board up, get the nose up. That's gonna make it a little more surfy in pow. You're still gonna get that load and pop of traditional camber underfoot. And with the way that this is shaped, it's gonna give you ease of entry in and out of turns. This board is available in 156 and 161. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a sunny bluebird day that had 0 winds, yet a couple inches of fresh snow on top of the previous compressed packed powder from the previous day, as well as kind of a powder groomer, if you will. It's kind of wet snow in spots, so it was a little sticky in there. Chopped chunder, and at the lower mountain, you had slush, and I used my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board is soft and playful. Obviously with the shape, it's gonna be a directional flex, so what you get is more play in the nose, stiffer section underfoot where that camber is, more play between the feet where that dip in the reverse is, then it gets stiffer in that rear camber section back through the tail. The torsional flex is very abundant with this board. You can really twist this board. Overall, it's kind of below a middle of the road powder surfer cruise carver, if you will. But the cool thing is that it's moderately stable for what it actually is. So you'll get some chatter that will resonate back underfoot and you're gonna kind of feel it. And if you're cruising a groomer at speed and it's soft and creamy, that flap really isn't gonna bother you. You're not gonna feel shit. But if you're getting aboard the Chunder Muffin Express first thing in the morning when it's still a little frozen and you're in the back seat trying to get into some pow and you hit any of that stuff that's frozen underneath, it's basically gonna go right into that camber section and your body's gonna get jarred. You're gonna feel it. So the long and the short of this is keep your knees bent and just be aware that it's kind of lively and playful, even though it should be a little bit more damp. But if you're aware of that, it shouldn't be an issue. If you're not, well, you're gonna be fatigued midday, I bet. Is this the snappiest board in this category? Oh, no, not by any stretch of the imagination. But it is easy to engage. So when you roll back from the center of the board through the tail and load that camber section, you're gonna get a little spring off the tail. That's gonna help you pop off a roller, hit a side hit, launch a cat track gap, or porpoise in fresh snow. You don't have to be calculated with it and you don't have to worry about it. What you put in is about what you're gonna get out. You're not boosting to the moon, but it will be consistent. All right, so I don't know where we are in this review, but if you remembered to click like for this video, good, proud of you, stoked. Are you subscribed? Have you clicked the bell to get notifications? You probably should do that. You'd be a lot cooler if you did. The nice thing about this board is you got this huge sweet spot in the nose. You pop a 180 in some fresh snow, you land on it, it holds, it locks in, you do a deep pow butter, you pop right back out of it, and you go back on your way, spraying and slaying. With the tail, you're basically sitting outside the rear foot, and you can get sideways with it and manipulate it however you want. It's gonna be good for doing those pow wheelies, or if you're just like trying to bonk something as you pop over it. Sure, you're gonna be able to jib that just fine and butter around on top of like little pow boulders and whatnot with it. Like I said, this board's playful, so you can get sideways, twist it, revert around, get weird, because you know, Gnu likes it when you get weird. This board is actually really easy to engage on edge just due to that torsional flex. You can really ankle steer this. So when you're doing short, tight, quick carves, it comes right off the front foot here. You can just dig that in, the magnet traction will grip and it locks in, but it's not so forceful that you're stuck in that carve. And then when you just counter twist it to bring it back out and transition over to the other edge, it's not a problem. Medium mellow carves, that's where you got to kind of change your nuance with this. Instead of really driving it off the front foot, you're basically going to guide it off the front foot, disengage, kick your knee into the center, and get a little bit of power, and that's going to cause it to lock in from the middle back through the tail, and that's going to allow you to swoop from one side of the run back to the other. Now when you're going for a deep, hard, aggressive carve, you can overpower this board if you're not careful. There are limitations on this. Just like with those medium carves, you're basically driving it from the center between the bindings where that reverse is, back through the tail, pushing into that camber. That's going to give you all that power. But if you put too much power and you're bringing your leg back out on the rear foot with your front foot disengaged, you're going to get it to root out. It's just going to kick out of that carve. It happens. Doesn't matter if you're on your toe side or your heel side, it's just going to happen. This is more like a mellow, deep, aggressive carver. Like, you're going to go in, you're going to lay it really quick, go back to flat base, then transition over into the next edge and do what you need to do with it. Yes, it does carve. That magnet traction does work. When you're on edge, it is locked in, but it's not so forceful as I've already mentioned, so that you feel you're locked in all the way through that carve. You can be a little less aggressive. You don't have to bring your A game. You can just cruise. You can basically party carve with this, no problem. Rider in mind. So who is this board for? It's for the pow slashing surfy rider that's gonna do some groomer cruising, maybe leave a trench every now and then, but for the most part, just sort of swoop in and around people, or just try to find a good bank to get up on and then slash. All right, if you like what we're doing over here, you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. This is a fun little board to get surfy with, slash some carves. You're not gonna ride it every day, although I'm sure someone's gonna leave me a comment down below and be like, I ride this every day, I don't know what you're talking about. Good for you, buddy, good for you. I'm sure you're an expert and you know what you're talking about. But for the rest of us, this is kind of that quiver board, something you're gonna grab when you wanna just cruise mellow pow. Maybe it's late in the season and it's gonna be pow in the morning, slush in the afternoon, and you just want something that you can spray and slay with. It's gonna have decent edge hold. It's not winning any awards for anything that it is, but it's fun, it has its place, it's unique, it does what you need it to do. Comparable boards: the Rossignol Slashimi, the Salomon 6-stick, the Nitro Pow. Binding recommendations: the bent metal Anvil, the Union Strata, the Salomon Hologram. This has been my review of the Gnu something Gnu. Are you related to Gary Gnu? Maybe this is one of the boards for Gary Gnu's children. Anyways, if this is the board for you, awesome. If it's not, why don't you go check out our back catalog of reviews, because I'm sure we've covered a deck you're interested in. Go on, go do it, go watch it, keep watching, you know you want to.